So I saw your video on weight divisions, sex divisions, divisions in general. And while I understand where you're coming from, I disagree with a lot of your comments. And I'll try to give counter arguments and explain them as best as I can. So let's start. First, you said that we fight to learn how to fight, basically in a life or death scenario. And I very much disagree with that. I personally do not expect or want to fight with a long sword where I will either have to kill or be killed. Um, Even so, if that were said, that's not what tournaments are about, at least not in my opinion. Because if that were the case, first off, you would need to have more unfairness given into it, because these things usually don't really happen in a fair scenario. So for example, your back might be to the wall. You might be assailed by more than one person, which is almost certainly to happen if it happens like an ambush. You might not have the time to have your weapon at the ready. You can throw dirt in their faces. You can run away. So a lot of things that you have to take into consideration that the tournaments willfully don't. And I think it's right that they don't, because tournaments, in my opinion, they are not there to teach us how to fight in a life or death scenario. That being said, they are there to test our skills and to give us a goal for our skills that we can work towards to. And these skills that we use in tournaments are universally applicable with the weapon we are using. So in a self-defense situation, in a judicial duel, whatever, they're universally applicable. And that's the other thing. Tournaments, in my opinion, are about skill. They're not about fighting the ultimate warrior who has to be big, strong, has to have good reach, has to be very fast and very flexible. So it's not about finding the best of the best. It's about rewarding those people that are skilled. Why is this important, especially in terms of divisions? Well, if you are a short person who can't get a lot more muscle mass, you would be disinclined to actually go to any tournaments because you know you are gonna lose. For example, take a look at this picture. Who is going to win in a fight? Now you might say, oh, but if she works around his reach and everything, she can still win. Yeah, but that's not the point. You can win in any case if you do things exactly right. The point is, if she is to win, she has to be 4 or 5 levels higher than he in skills so that she can have a chance at beating him. So she has to train more just to be on equal footing in a real fight scenario. If this were to happen in a life or death situation, I am pretty sure she would not choose to fight. Or if she did, she would employ some really nasty, sneaky methods that I would not want to see in a tournament setting. Second thing is, I have fought in tournaments, not that many, sadly, yet. I plan to. But I have fought also against people who have far greater reach than me, and it is so extremely frustrating. It feels unfair. You know they have the advantage, and you have to work around it. So when you said that we're all in this together, nobody's handicapped, not true. Against somebody who is 195, so 195 centimeters tall, I am handicapped, because I have been in this situation. They do not need to move, and they can hit me. I have to make a full step to be able to reach them. That is a huge advantage. Also, weight and muscle mass is a big advantage, bigger than you might think. It doesn't show in sparring because people tend to pull back their punches in appropriateness to their opponent. So if their opponent isn't really strong, they'll pull back their punches. And yeah, they might seem really strong. So if you're working with a bodybuilder, we have a bodybuilder in our group, great guy, and he hits like a truck, and he's pulling his punches back. I personally know that if he struck with full force, I am not sure I would be able to defend that with perfect form. He's a big guy, he's a heavy guy, and he is extremely muscular, and it shows. It gives him an advantage. Also, other advantages are, of course, speed, as I said, reach. Even weight is an advantage because you can put it into your strike, and if you put it into your strike, your opponent will have to defend, will have to make his defense more solid. So he will have to defend either wider, he will have to be more careful. These are all things that add up. These are advantages that come to be into something huge. So again, if we take a look at this picture, he has a big advantage over her. And that is not something I want to see in a tournament. I don't want to see some discrepancies that are this big. Again, women especially are handicapped when it comes to fighting arts. Why? Well, they have more fat. That sounds awful, doesn't it? Women have more, but it's true. They have more fat, they have less muscle mass. Not only that, they are also shorter and lighter. So, not as built for this as we are. But that doesn't mean we need to exclude them. That doesn't mean that we indirectly exclude them from tournaments. Because if we don't have these divisions, there will be no women in HEMA after a while. There might be a few, but it's not gonna happen. So yeah, these are the main things that I wanted to say. We don't fight for our lives when we train. Yes, we do use and hone skills that would be useful if we had to fight for our lives, but that is not the primary purpose. The primary purpose is to hone your skill as a swordsman or a swordswoman. And I think tournaments are a wonderful goal to have. I'm gonna go to a tournament, I'm gonna train hard for the tournament, I'm gonna beat them up. That's a great mentality to have, actually. It helps you kind of push yourself a little bit further. But if you know that there are gonna be people there that have like a 40 centimeter and 50 kilo advantage over you, that is not something that you will be looking forward to, trust me. I am 169 centimeters tall, so I'm relatively short, but I can still fight most people. There are people that I definitely feel have a very unfair advantage against me, and I have to be that much better than them to be on equal footing. And in sparring, that doesn't bother me. I take it as a challenge, alright? I know they're gonna pull back, and they're not gonna punch as much as they can, so I can kind of compensate that with going maybe a little bit faster, maybe a little bit harder, maybe I'm on a higher skill level than they are, but at the back of my mind, I know that inherently they are the ones with the advantage. And tournaments, as I said, they're not about finding, in my opinion, the ultimate warrior. They are about rewarding skill. So the more skillful you are, the higher you go. And in this case, weight divisions are something that is extremely useful. So thanks for listening. I hope this made sense. And well, if you have any rebuttal, I would love a debate to get rolling. It doesn't need to be a video response, you can just type it in the comments. But yeah, until next time, cheers and see you.